It's crazy. In the very, very beginning, I have this pointed down to my grid paper. And for some reason, when I go and hit go live, it likes to flip it to then where you're seeing my light and my ceiling. So I apologize for that. And for some reason, this is a newer phone than what I normally use. And it seems like for some reason it has like a little bit of delay when I do the flipping and all that. So I don't know. I don't understand. All I know is that my videos are nice and clear and crisp, which I'm liking that whole idea. So welcome everybody. This is Carla and welcome back to the studio. And thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So, Throwback Thursdays are basically I pull in my retired stash and I create two projects using whether it's just a standalone stamp set, a bundle, or a whole suite of product. Um, Retired stuff, I have a lot of it. So, I have plenty of stuff to work with. So, just like right up front, I will make mention that I kind of fell a little behind. So, the last 2 weeks of March, I was in Oregon visiting my daughter and granddaughter. And everything that for those 2 weeks, I had already pre recorded and scheduled for those to post when I was away. When I came back, I did manage to get my paper pumpkin video completed, I think, on that Sunday, I think, or maybe it was that Monday. Don't remember. But um, I needed to do my monthly Christmas card inspiration video, which I will tell you, I just got done recording that. I am doing this on Monday evening, April 7th, so I'm a little behind. Um, so I just got done recording that and it's been posted out there. I used the words of cheer bundle and I thought those were really cute cards that I put together with that. So this is the Throwback Thursday that was for April 3rd. Now, I went live on the following day on April 4th. What did I use for that one? Yeah, what did I use for that one? It was just, oh, okay. I used the inspiring uh Snapdragons for this past Friday Night Live. So I was a little bit behind, a lot of things were going on. Between last week and this weekend, we were dealing with a lot of bad weather. So of course, I watch Ryan Hall out on YouTube and I get really distracted and I'm more focused on what's going on with the weather than getting the stuff done that I need to get done. So just a tiny bit behind. I This is actually the only other video that once I do this one, I'm kind of caught up. I have also got done when I do my Friday Night Lives or my Kinda Lives, which is a pre-recorded Friday Night Live. I create a PDF of all the projects. So there's pictures, there's a list of dimensions, a list of supplies, and what I use to like color images in. I let you all know what that is in that PDF. Well, um, on my Friday Night Live videos, when you go back and you look at any of them, in the description of the video, there's a little paragraph right above the list of supplies, and that is a link that will take you to my Google Drive. I have PDFs that go all the way back from the end of January of 2024. So they're dated, and I got the name of the product that I had used. So if you go back to one of those videos, you click on there, you'll find all those out there, and they're free of charge. So I needed to get the PDF done for the video I did on Friday. So that's out there now. My monthly newsletter typically would get done the first Tuesday of the month, so that would have been on April 1st. Unfortunately, it didn't get done till today. So I got that out. So right now, this is the Thursday that I need to get caught up on. I actually have one more card to design, and then I'm going to film, and I'm going to try and do this tonight. The Thursday video that's coming up for this week, which would be the 10th. Yeah, the 10th, right? It's the 10th. Hold on. Yeah, it's the 10th. And I apologize with the coughing. Prior to going on my trip, I was good. My assistant and friend Yvonne, she was actually sick. I bought medicine ahead of time to play it safe because I didn't want to leave here sick. And I was all good. Bad me. I had bought KN95 masks, basically to wear through the airport and while being on the plane. I got on a plane here in Memphis, was laid over a little bit in Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to Portland, Oregon. So going and coming back, and I didn't wear a mask at all. And when I came back, I was good. Um, Now, while I was there, my granddaughter was sick, and ultimately, in the end, she ended up with bronchitis, but she got some antibiotics and she was getting better. I think like a day or two after I left, she went through the whole night without coughing. So I don't think that's what I got. I think with me, I rarely ever get sick. Um, the weather has been kind of crazy. So with this storm, it was kind of warm, and then when this storm blew through, it has been a bit cooler. So I got my medicine. I took it this morning. I'm not big on medicine, so I didn't take it every 4 hours. So I took it this morning, and then I'll take the nighttime one tonight before I go to bed. So hopefully I can kick this to the curb sooner rather than later. So so I just want to put that out there really quick. Now, again, this is the Throwback Thursday that is for April 3rd. For this one, I decided to bring in the Dandelion Wishes stamp set. Now, it's a standalone stamp set. There's no dies that went with this. I really like the cute images on here, and then you have the mixed fonts on the greetings. You got sending well wishes your way, wishes for a lifetime of love and happiness. I made a wish and you came true. So we're going to do some fun projects with this set. So for my first card, I really, really, really love this color combination. I just think it's just the perfect color combination. Excuse me. And like I said, I apologize up front. I don't want to be doing all this coughing. I do have a cough drop in my mouth, and I do have some water. So I got through my Christmas video. So let's see if I can get through this one. Okay. So for my pieces of cardstock, I have Pool Party for my card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of early espresso. This measures 5 by 3.75. I really like the brown with the aqua color. And then I have a piece of basic white that measures 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, we'll set that aside along with our early espresso ink. I mean, early espresso cardstock. Okay, Now, for this part, I want to bring in my piercing mat, and then I'm going to bring in this block. This is one of the Stampin' Up! D blocks, and I'm going to use it as a stamp. So I want, what do I want? I want my Pool Party ink. Now, my ink pad is a little inky, so I am going to use the back of my spoon here, and I'm going to press that ink in. Okay, let me get my Stampin' Scrub here, and let me clean the back of this so I don't get ink all over the place. Okay. All right, so let's bring this in, and I'm going to take now the block is longer. It's not a perfect square, so I want the longer way with this block, and I'm going to put that in my ink pad and get some ink on it, and then I'm going to come right in here, kind of like in the middle, but up a little bit towards the top. And you can see that it is pretty inky when you get those little dark like bubbles. So I'm going to press that down. Okay, so we have a little bit of a background there. Then I'm going to bring in my early espresso ink, and I'm going to use this stamp here that has the trio of the dandelions, and we'll put that on a block. Now I don't have the stickers on here, so I'm going to just take my stamp and I'm going to line it up straight with the bottom edge of my block. Okay, let's ink this up. And you got a bigger stamped image that you're inking up. It's better to place the stamp down and take the ink pad to the stamp rather than taking the stamp to the ink pad. All right, and then I'm going to stamp this where it is going to go over the edge a little bit. And that's okay, that's what I want. Excuse me. I hate when I do get sick. I'm kind of miserable when I'm sick. I'm glad that I don't always get sick. It's very rare. I couldn't even tell you when the last time it was that I got sick. But I'm really hoping that I can nip this fairly quickly and get rid of it because it's no bueno. Okay, I need that ink again. Okay, so then I want the greeting that says sending well wishes your way. I guess I really need this card, right? Okay, again, I don't have the sticker on here, so I'm going to kind of line this up with the bottom edge. Okay. And we'll get our early espresso ink again. And ink this up. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp this right here. And again, I'm looking at the bottom edge of the block rather than the bottom edge of the stamp because you can see that it's kind of angled right there. So if you put the stamp on there, lining up the bottom of your greeting with the bottom edge of your block, and you line that up. It looks a little wonky, but it's okay. It's handmade, not Hallmark, right? Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit more to this. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Blend marker. Now this is part of the Deep collection, so, or the combo pack. So our Stampin' Blends, they do come in a combo pack. You usually get like a light and a dark um, shading of a color. This particular marker is part of the, do I want to say it's naturals? So these are like all your skin tones. And when these first came out, they actually had numbers. So this is number 100. Now you may see that I got a couple little speckles on here. It's because of this card that I got those speckles on there. So let me move this out of the way and kind of move some of this other stuff out of the way. And I'm going to bring in some scrap paper. Let's see. So I've used this one. So I'm going to place this down like right here. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do your spritzing. So you can take, say like your Stampin' Right marker, that's your regular water-based marker. You can scribble that on a block. Take a paintbrush with just a little bit of water, put it in that color, and then you can tap it and you can add some spritzes on your project. Now, some of your spritzes will be small, they'll be bigger. You can also use your Stampin' Right marker to where you can take the brush tip and your cap and you can flick it and it'll add some spritzes to it. Now, for this marker, these brush tips on these markers, it doesn't take much for them to start to fray. So I don't advise doing the flicking with the cap on these. Um, that's the one thing about these markers, that the tips, it doesn't take much before they start to get like that. So I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to tap that, and I'm going to add some of those spritzes. And this is very inky because spritzes are like, you can see the spritzes are going everywhere. All right, so we got a little more interest on our layer right there. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. And then when you get it, like say on your bone folder, if you want to clean it, just get like a alcohol swab and you can wipe that. That'll come right off. All right. So then we're going to take this piece and let's bring in a card base. Okay. And we're going to attach our stamp and spritz piece here. We're going to adhere it to our early espresso, and then we'll put it on our pool party card base, and we'll just center it on our card base. Okay, so there's not really a very big border on here. Okay. Now, you can do one or two things. You can either glue this straight down or you can put it up on dimensionals to pop it up. Whichever you like to do. But for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down. Okay, so then we'll center this like so. Okay. And then for my embellishments, I'm going to bring in just our plain old rhinestones, the perfect little sparkle, neutral sparkle to add to our card. So There are 3 different sizes that are in here. I'm going to use one of each. So I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to take one of the larger ones here, the largest one. I'm going to put it right there in the center of my largest dandelion. Then I have an extra medium one here that we'll place there. And then one of our small ones will go right in our little one. Sorry. So there is our card. I mean, very, very simple. And I just really love how all these colors come together. The aquas and the browns are just, they're just a perfect combination. So there is our first card. Okay, so let me clean this up a little bit because we'll need these blocks again. And we'll get our second card. Make sure everything's clean here. Actually, this block has like some purple on it. Make sure that it's clean. Okay, I think that looks better. Okay. And I apologize for the camera shaking too, because the stand that the phone is sitting in is actually attached to this table. All right, so we got that clean. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use this other dandelion right here that has some of the little pieces that are flying off of it. And then I'm going to use the greeting that says, I made a wish and you came true. So let's put these back in here. And this goes in here. Okay. Get a little bit of water. I like to start off with a clean slate. It doesn't feel so like it's so cluttered and doesn't feel so overwhelming. That's how I kind of roll. Okay, so for this image, I'm going to kind of line up this stem to have that straight down. So again, when I stamp it, I know exactly, at what angle I'm stamping this. And then for my greeting, we'll take this and we'll try and get this straight on our block. Okay, it looks okay. Excuse me. All right. So this one, we're going to do a little bit of coloring on this one. So let me bring in my pieces for this. Okay, so for my card base, I have fresh Freesia. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic black that's 5 1/4 by 4, and then a piece of basic white that measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So we're just going to have that little bit of a black border around that white piece. So let's fold and burnish our card base. And we'll set that aside along with our piece of black. And then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. Now, this is red rubber. It does have that foam cushion on it, so you technically do not need this to use these stamps. But I am using it because being that this is a piece of white cardstock and I have it on a piece of white grid paper, It'll make it a little bit easier for me to see exactly where I am stamping this on this piece of cardstock. All right. So for this, the ink that I'm going to use is Memento Tuxedo Black. You either use Memento or you can also use our classic Stampin' Pads to stamp your images if you want to color with your Stampin' Blend markers. Now, you do not want to use StazOn ink when you're using these markers because StazOn is a solvent ink, and then these being alcohol, the two are not going to mix. It's just going to smear the ink. Now, one of the things about the black ink, so Stampin' Up, there were a few years where they tried different black inks as far as their ink pads went. We used to have the felt pads, then we had the archival ink, and just couldn't get it to be like that perfect, black ink. So they went with the Memento Tuxedo Black along with the StazOn Jet Black ink. Now, the Memento Tuxedo Black and also the StazOn, those are felt pads. And one of the things that I had noticed when I stamp with both those blacks is that the Memento would not give you that really dark, crisp black stamped image, like if you're stamping like a greeting on your card, like it would if you use Stays On. The thing is with Stays On, I mean, you can use your photopolymer stamps with your Stays On ink, but just know you are not going to get that black ink off of your stamp. And I don't advise using the Stays On cleaner on your photopolymers. I mean, you can use it and wash your stamp with some soap and water right away. However, what's going to happen when you use that stays on cleaner on your stamp, you're just going to smear that ink on there, and then your photopolymer is not going to be a stamp that you're going to be able to see through, because now the whole stamp is going to be black. So if you're doing photopolymer and you're using your stays on, just know, just use your stamp and scrub to clean it. Just know, don't take the stays on cleaner to it, because it's just one way or the other, it's just going to mess up your stamp and it's not worth it. But try this little tip. So I've seen other demonstrators do this, and I decided, okay, I had to get on the bandwagon and had to give it a try myself. So in our catalog, we do have a white craft stamping pad. So when you get these, you have an uninked foam pad along with a reinker with the white ink. Now, the craft ink, it's kind of, I would compare it to, like, say, a white paint. So what I have done, and again, this is not my idea, I got this from other demonstrators. Um, Order a white, a white ink, uninked ink pad. Excuse me. And then take a Memento Tuxedo Black reinker and ink up your ink pad with that reinker. Um, then when you stamp with it, you're going to have a much dark, crisper stamped image with your Memento when you're stamping on a foam pad rather than a felt pad. And you'll see what I say when I go to stamp this. You're going to see how really dark, excuse me, how really dark it's going to be. All right, so I am going to start off with my greeting actually. So let's open this up and let's ink this up. Now this ink pad is pretty inky, so I don't want to really press my stamp in there really hard. Let's make sure that, okay. Let me get a piece of scrap paper just to make sure there's not something on my stamp. Yeah, see, there's a little like thread or something right there. My Stampin' Scrub, I bought this thing back when I first joined in 2013, so some of these little fibers are starting to come off on it. So I'm kind of overdue for a new one. So let me just make sure there's nothing stuck on there. Okay. So let's try this again. Bring this in here. I'll ink this up. Okay, that looks a little bit better. And again, I'm looking at the bottom edge of my block, and hopefully I got this straight. Now, I don't want to press really hard because I find that if I have too much ink on this, it kind of makes it, instead of like an even, you can kind of see that it looks like there's like little ripples in that. It's not bad, but yeah, you don't want to press like really, really hard. Okay, and then we're going to ink up our dandelion. Okay, and again, because it's a bigger image, I took the ink pad to the stamp. And again, because there's more ink on there, I'm not going to press really hard. So we're going to place this right here. And just a little tap. Just a little light press on it. Okay, so that's okay. All right. So let's put that aside. Excuse me. I apologize. Like I said, I don't like when I get sick, and the coughing is irritating. So I'm going to do I'm going to cut my talking down. I'm sure there's probably some of you that are going to be happy about that. But let me explain what I'm going to do first. So I have pulled in some Stampin' Blends, you know, some nice bright rainbow type colors. So I have my light melon mambo, light pumpkin pie, dark lemon lolly, light lemon lime twist, light summer splash, light azure afternoon, and light fresh freesia. So on these little dandelion pieces here, I am going to take my markers, and I'm going to kind of do a rainbow around. I just want this ink to be dry, so I apologize. That's why I am kind of off to the side so I don't freak the camera out, trying to focus in on what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a little bit of scribbling of color over these little dandelion parts. Now, ahead of time, I kind of counted how many of these were so I can have an equal amount of the colors. So I'm going to start off. So there's going to be like 6 all together. So there's going to be like 5. I'm going to start down here with my my melon mambo. I'm going to do like 5 here, and then I'm going to do one of these that are kind of blowing off. Okay, so I'll use my my bullet tip on this, and I'm just going to scribble a little bit. 3, 4, 5, and then this one right here. Okay, then pumpkin pie. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 right there. Okay, dark lemon lolly. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this one right there. Okay, the light lemon lime twist, I am going to go around the center of this and go down the stem. So you're still going to have that black there, but want a little bit of that light lemon lime twist on there. Okay, and then we're going to go with the light summer splash. So we got 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4, 5, and then there's 6. Okay, light azure afternoon. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll do that one as 5. And then this one right there. And then fresh Freesia. Let's see. 1. I think this tip seems like it's a little loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I got a couple extra here, so I'm going to bring in my Melon Mambo again. And we'll fill those 2 in. Okay, so we got a little bit of a rainbow going on there with our dandelion. Okay, so then let's bring in our card base and our basic black piece. And I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. And again, there's just going to be a small border of that black behind our white. Okay, and then we're going to adhere this to our card base. All right. And then this will get centered like so. Press that down. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my Winkastella. Let's make sure that this isn't pouring out any. And I'm going to go over these bits that I had colored in. Okay, and over the middle and the stem, we'll go over with some of that Winkastella as well. And one final detail, we're going to bring in, take a pick tool and one of our large rhinestones, and we're going to place that right smack in the middle of our dandelion. And there's our really pretty, colorful dandelion card. So I think this one came out really, really cute as well. So let me bring in the first one. Again, with a great color combination of the pool party and early espresso, and the just the addition of the simple clear rhinestones just really makes that card just like totally awesome. And then we decided to go with a little bit of color on this one, using just doing a little bit of scribbling with the Stampin' Blends. Now, the sample card that I made with this, I actually just took the bullet tip of the marker and I just did a couple of dots. So here's the difference between the two. I decided to do the scribbling on this one only because I wanted to see a little bit more color. I mean, you can see the color on here, but by scribbling and covering a little bit more of those dandelions, you can see the colors a little bit more. So there is our second card uh, for this Throwback Thursday using the Dandelion Wishes stamp set. Now I am going to be, so this is for Thursday. I have already done my Friday Night Live, so even though this is being posted after, the week after, I have already done the Friday Night Live that featured the inspiring snapdragons. Um, so if you haven't seen that, you can go back and watch that. Uh, for this week, this coming Thursday, I will be using, um, hold on. I will be using the Posted for You bundle. So it's the Posted for You stamp set along with, I didn't put a label on it, but I believe this is um, the postal punch, I think. It'll be in the description when I post it. So that's going to be something that I got one more card to design on that. And I think I'm going to try and get that recorded tonight. So then it'll be scheduled for this coming Thursday. Fell a little bit behind after coming back. Things have changed, and I've had to actually go into the office for 3 days a week. So when you have to drive further than what you used to do, like back in 2019, yeah, that first night it took a lot out of me, and I was in bed early, and I'm not usually someone that goes to bed very early. So, but not a lot I was able to get done because I also had to do the PDF for my Friday Night Live. I also had to do my newsletter. I had to do the monthly Christmas card inspiration plus the Throwback Thursday from last week. So there was a lot to do. And of course, we had all this bad weather down here. I follow Ryan Hall on YouTube. So, yeah, I was distracted and really focused on the weather and what was going on in Arkansas, here, further in on Tennessee, down in Mississippi. So yeah, I'm kind of playing catch up, and this will be posted, and yeah, I will pretty much be caught up, and then I'm going to get ahead of the game, and I'm going to get that video done for this week, and then start working on what I'm going to be doing for this Friday. So, this particular Friday, what am I doing this particular Friday? Let's pull out the planner because I write these things down, but then it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. We will be using the Loveliest Tree bundle. This is a bundle that's in our current annual catalog. I will be honest with you, I don't know if it's retiring or not. Um, I really haven't had much time to really focus in on what's going and what's staying and all that. There is a link in the description of the video that lists the last chance products. If you click on that, you'll see everything that's in there. If you do a search on any product, really, and if you see last chance on it, then that means it's going away. Once it sells out, that's it. If you don't see that on there, excuse me, that means it's going to carry over. It's most likely going to be mixed in with the online exclusive items and so it'll be around for a little bit. But I'm not 100% sure if that bundle is going away or not. So that's what I will be doing for the Friday Night Live this week. So that would be the 11th, April 11th. So I will go live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have a great bunch of ladies that join me when I go live, and we have a nice little conversation going as we're creating the projects. And at the very end, I do a wheel of names where I give away one of the three cards that I have made. So I'm getting caught up. My newsletter that went out today, uh, PDFs for my Friday Night Lives. I have been creating a PDF that will have a picture of the cards. It will have a list of the supplies I used. It'll have the dimensions of the cardstock, the paper. It'll list what inks I use, like for coloring or for stamping. So all of that is in there. I've been doing these ever since near the end of January of 2024. So if you look at one of my Friday Night Live videos, if you look in the description just above the supply list, there is a paragraph in there that my Friday Night Live PDFs are free. There's a link that will take you to my Google Drive, and that's where you'll find it. And everything has a date and then the name of like the stamp set or the suite or whatever. I have it listed like that. So if that's something that interests you. Um, so if you could please give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please leave a nice comment. All my comments for the most part have been pretty nice, so I thank you all for that. Leave a comment, share the video, whatever you would like to do. All of that really helps me in not only growing this channel, but it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business and, being able to put out more content using product that is actually currently available. So, so again, I will be live. Let's see. This is the Thursday from last week, and I did my Friday Night Live. So this will be the live tomorrow on the 11th, again at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're not supposed to have any bad weather, so we'll be able to get through it, hopefully, with no issues, no problems. So I hope that you'll be able to join us. So with that, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this episode of Throwback Thursday featuring the Dandelion Wishes stamp set. If you have the stamp set, I hope that I have given you some inspiration, to pull it out and to play with it again. If you are living in areas where it's cold or it's warm or it's either snowy or stormy or whatever it may be, because there's a lot of crazy stuff that's been weather-wise happening all across the U.S. Um, stay warm, stay cool, stay safe, and everyone, you have a blessed one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.